Alright, so today's subject, how to structure your business and how to pick a niche. Now, the thing is, no matter how good or revolutionary your idea might be, it doesn't mean that it will turn into a successful business. And the way you increase the odds of it turning into a successful business, you have a proper structure. Now, I want to share a little hack with you before we get into the main part. Every time you talk about business with someone, or every time you're working on your business, always ask yourself, how can I make this more efficient? Anything, anything business related, always ask yourself, how can I make this more efficient? And the thing, why is it a hack? Because over time, you train your brain to subconsciously think in that direction. And it's a great thing. Really, like, just try. And in most cases, more efficiency means more profit. Now, to get to the main part, we will talk about a general structure, and I'll list out everything, and then we'll cover each of them individually. And we're not gonna go into depth with every single one because they're really like a topic on their own, and I plan on making videos for each segment separately because it really like requires more time. Now, let's go over the main thing and in order. So, first of all, we have your industry and your niche. We have client base, we have your client's targeted audience, then we're going to talk about pricing and margins, your offer, service delivery, scaling, and last but not least, your exit strategy. Now, let's start with your industry and niche. The way, what you really need to do is you need to do some thorough research on the industry that you plan to work in, right? I don't know if it's, let's say, if you want to work with dentists, you go and look up how many of them are in the US, how much competition do you have. Try to research everything and anything about it because all knowledge is good in every single sense. And the thing with picking industry is you also, what a niche really is. If you want to let's say work in a medical field, you can't just work with everyone in the medical field. Or if you want to work in construction, you don't just go and do roofing, plumbing, I don't know, whatever. Like, you have to niche down on things because all these different niches, they like their demographics and their target, their audience, and like they are completely different businesses. Like a dentist and a chiropractor are both in medical, right? But they're very, very different, and you can't do both. You have to pick one, and just you research everything, see what what you like the best, and go with research everything and anything about them. And that's really the most important thing, because you really need to know what they need, what do they need, like. And when you figure out what your client base needs, you need to figure out if you can deliver that. And if you can, then you move on to the next thing. Now, your client base, you need to also research about your clients. Like, if you need to know how much money do they earn on average, right? If you're working with real estate agents, they don't have a lot of money, right? They're all like younger people that are trying to make it, flipping and stuff like that. They don't have a lot of money to pay you, right? So you need a different way to go about it. But if you work with, let's say, dentists, which is, well, it's very generic, but it's very saturated. But if you, let's say, work with dentists, they have a lot of money, and that you can, charge them a little bit more, but your delivery has to be on the same level, right? And the thing, what you really want is you want I mean, at least from my perspective, you want your client base to, have enough money to be able to comfortably pay you. And the next thing is, when you research all that, you need to research your client's targeted audience. So if you, let's say, if you work with med spas, their targeted audience aren't gonna be 40-year-old men, right? So I think you can see where I'm going with this. You really need to research the audience. You need to you see their, I don't know, behaviors, research like ads and everything else in, you know, that has anything to do with your demographic. And the next thing would be your pricing and your margins. Now, when it comes to pricing, this is like a really like a special video just for this that I'm planning on making, because when it comes to pricing, everything ties back into that, the amount of money your clients are earning and everything else. So essentially you want basically to be able to earn them 5 to 10 times more than what they are paying you. Let's say when it comes to my agency, my retainer would be 3,000 a month plus 2,000 ad spent, but I would bring them at least 5 new clients, which one client is worth 10K to them, and which means 5 clients are 50K, and I bring them 10 times what I'm asking for, and that, you know, sounds like a good deal. And you really want to provide real value, not just whatever. You're like, oh, I'm gonna do SEO for everyone, and your pitch is gonna be, oh well, it can, you know, get you to a second or first page on Google, and you can, you know, your website can look nicer. Who gives a fuck about that? You need to provide real value, real money. That's what people want. That's what business is. You want to find a way to get them money, and you get paid proportionally for it. Now, when it comes to margins, also at the very beginning, when you first start off, it's gonna be your, you know, one-man army, just you, and you really want you want to have 100% margin, like 95 to 100% margin, like unironically. You want to be able to handle everything before, up until you get your I don't know, second or third client, because then you have money to work with, and that's just reinvesting. So your margins, especially when it comes to the structure, it ties back into the efficiency thing that I was talking about. Your margins depend on your efficiency directly, because let's say I had a problem with, let's say if you work, I don't know, with chiropractors, their client value is maybe like 20 to 50 bucks per client, right? And if you want to make your offer like valuable to them and to actually bring them something of worth, you need to bring like 50 to 100 clients a month just for them to make sense working with you altogether. And on the other hand, if you have, you know, tie it back into that, if you need like 100 clients to deliver on your promise, then you need like 50 employees in your call center, because they're gonna have to be calling all day, every day, 80 to 100 calls every single day for each of your client. And it's overwhelming, and when you have to hire a bunch of people, your margins go down because you have to pay those people and everything like that. So you try to find, you know, ways to work around that. And the thing is, if you, let's say, have my example, your clients' clients have a high LTV or lifetime value, and you essentially, if one client is worth 1,000 to, I don't know, 5-10,000 bucks, your one assistant, you don't need a call center, you need one person, and one person can handle 10 of your clients, because they don't have to make 100 calls every single day per client. They are gonna probably make 5 or 10, and there are like ad structures that would, you know, reduce that amount of work even further, and that we're gonna talk about later on. But the thing is, everything comes back to efficiency, and efficiency increase your margins, and we're gonna talk more in depth about that in some of the next videos, right? Next thing, your offer. Now, your offer might be it's not might be, it is the most important thing when it comes to acquiring new clients, because your offer has to be so good that that people would feel stupid for not taking it. Like me, your offer needs to be brain dead. Like when they hear it, it's like, okay, like this makes sense. That's what you are looking for. And again, offer is a completely separate video that we really need to get in depth with, because you need to like understand the concept of a good offer, even though it might sound dumb, but it's actually much more profound than it sounds. Now, when it comes to your offer, you need, let's take a step back. Your offer will directly tie into your service delivery, because at the very beginning, when you figure out a perfect pitch, or you structure your offer perfectly and you start getting a bunch of clients, you don't just go and try to okay, you got 2 or 3 clients and now you're on a roll and you're like, oh, maybe I can get to 10 more, right? And the problem with that is that at the very beginning, if you don't know everything, if you don't have an entire plan laid out, right, you don't rush into things. First, if you found a way to get yourself 2 or 3 clients, or whatever your business is based around, if you have some sort of flow of money, you need to first deliver on your promise, and whatever it is, you first need to be sure that you can deliver on your end, because if you because that's what happened to me, right? I figured out a great offer and I started getting clients, and that was still when I was only me. I just hired another person as my assistant, and I was starting ramping clients up, right? Within a month I had like 15 clients, and I had no idea how to handle it, and within the next month I lost like 70% of them. And the reason why I lost them is because I got so confused and so overwhelmed by a billion different things that I just couldn't keep track. I needed people to cover a billion different things that I had no idea what I was doing. So the thing is, when you figure it out, when you start getting some inflow, right, figure out the next steps. Don't just rush. Don't just get taken over by the idea of earning more and more money. Just figure it out, have a plan, and then you can go full throttle. Now that's service delivery, and I tied it into the previous thing. Now when it comes to scaling is very important. We're going chronologically, right? We're thinking that you already have some sort of, that you're already doing pretty well, let's say. When it comes to scaling, you really need to, again, be efficient, because if you can't, if you get to like your cap, whatever it is, in any point in time, you will need to figure out how to scale it without losing clients, without without getting into an entire mess that is like employing a bunch of people, trying new software and billion different things. Now the scaling thing is, if you properly scale, you will be able to properly exit. And why I say that is because most people, when they're starting their business, they're not really thinking about exiting. They like it's not even they don't think about it. And the thing about exiting is, it ties back into the general structure of your business. So if you were to go maybe watch a couple of videos or read something, you will see that different businesses sell, different businesses and different business models are evaluated differently. And what's one of the highest highest on the ranking scale when it comes to evaluation, or the multiplier, is subscription-based businesses. So, which means service providing businesses, and you also need to really research when it comes to selling a business, how it works, how much can you earn based off of your profits, your margins, like your client base, your longevity of your clients, your LTV, everything else. You should definitely do some research on that, because there's like a popular saying, if you always sell when you don't have to, because you will get what you want. Because if you sell, if because if you get to a point where you need to sell, you will get what they give you, right? You will have to take what they give you. So always have some sort of an idea of your exit strategy, what you where you know want to close out. And I don't mean like build it out in half a year and then just try to, I don't know, sell it or move on to something like that, something else. But think 3, 5, 10 years ahead. But when you get to a point where you think you'd be comfortable with selling it, and when you want to move to something else, then you already thought of it before, and you already you put yourself in a decent position, right? And now we've gone over all these kind of roughly, but I hope that you got the idea of how to go about it. It makes sense. And I will specifically make videos on each and every single one of these uh, subjects separately, because they are really like they all need a video on its own. So yeah, that would be it for today. If you have anything that I can maybe help you with, just let me know in the comments, and that's about it. Peace.